Appearance. Albus Dumbledore is tall and thin, with silver hair and beard. Auburn in his youth, so long that they can be tucked into his belt. He has a very long and crooked nose that looks as if it has been broken at least twice. It is speculated that his brother's punch during their sister's funeral may have played a role in shaping his nose. He is also said to have long and skillful fingers. His eyes are described as being a brilliant, soul-piercing shade of blue, and usually twinkled with kindness and mischief. Dumbledore wears half-moon spectacles and a colorful array of robes, ranging from purple to bright orange. He once claimed to have a scar above his left knee in the precise shape of a map of the London Underground, but whether or not he actually does is unknown. His demeanor is often, if not always, serene and ethereal, and he usually speaks in a calm, pleasant voice even when Harry thought that he is actually furious. During the last year of his life, Dumbledore's right hand is scarred when he dons Marvolo Gaunt's ring, which was cursed. Had Snape not intervened with a counter-curse, Dumbledore would have died much more quickly. Regardless, the curse left his hand blackened and dead-looking, and no amount of healing could repair the appearance. According to Snape, the curse would eventually spread itself from the contained hand, and Dumbledore was doomed to die in no more than 1 year's time. Whether this means the blackening dead-look appearance would spread throughout the entire body is unknown. Personality. Considered the most powerful wizard in the world, Dumbledore is benevolent and wise. A good wizard in the style of Merlin. He exudes an aura of serenity and composure, rarely displaying intense emotions of anger or fear. Yet despite his benign nature, it is said that Dumbledore is the only wizard Lord Voldemort ever truly feared. Dumbledore is very eccentric and even slightly effeminate. He is very fond of knitting patterns and frequently wears flamboyant clothing. At one point, he is seen wearing a flowered bonnet. He is also known for his odd displays of whimsicality. He often uses humor to make people feel comfortable in his presence. As a supremely talented wizard, Dumbledore displays numerous examples of extraordinary powers. His abilities as a wizard are combined with a kind of cunning and subtlety of mind that allowed him to comprehend human nature and turn the better aspects of humanity, trust, love, and friendship, to Voldemort's disadvantage in particular. More than anything else, Dumbledore has a deep capacity for love, frequently reminding Harry that love was the greatest magic of all. Dumbledore believes in the good in everyone and insists on giving second chances. The greatest example of this is Dumbledore's relationship with Snape, in whom Dumbledore is willing to place a considerable amount of faith because he showed remorse. Dumbledore is highly perceptive and emotionally intelligent. His knowledge of a person's true personality goes beyond simply being a good judge of character. This is never more apparent than in his complex insights into Voldemort's psyche, which he pieces together with Harry to deduce where Voldemort's Horcruxes are hidden. Dumbledore's appearance hides a more steely aspect, as seen when apprehending Barty Crouch Jr., who was masquerading as Mad-Eye Moody. At that moment, Harry understood for the first time why people said Dumbledore was the only wizard Voldemort had ever feared. The look upon Dumbledore's face was more terrible than Harry could have ever imagined. There was no benign smile upon Dumbledore's face, no twinkle in the eyes. There was cold fury in every line of the ancient face. A sense of power radiated from Dumbledore as though he were giving off burning heat. However, in spite of Dumbledore's many extraordinary qualities, he is a flawed character. According to Rowling, Although Dumbledore seems to be so benign for 6 books, he's quite a Machiavellian figure. Really. He's been pulling a lot of strings. In a 2005 interview, Rowling commented, "Immense brainpower does not protect you from emotional mistakes. And I think Dumbledore really exemplifies that." Dumbledore's greatest flaw, which he admits to Harry, is his desire for power. He eventually finds that those best suited for power are those who do not seek it. When he and Grindelwald first meet, they make plans to enslave Muggles and re-establish wizards as the natural rulers of the world. However, Dumbledore becomes disillusioned of this fantasy after his sister Ariana is killed during a duel between himself, his brother Aberforth, and Grindelwald. Dumbledore is haunted by his sad family history. In particular, he is riddled with guilt over the circumstances surrounding the death of his sister. He feels enormous remorse for his selfishness in getting involved in the circumstances that led to her death, and is tortured for the rest of his life by the possibility that he might have been the one who cast the spell that killed her. When he looks into the impossessions Dumbledore's office houses, a number of curious instruments. Among them is a pensieve, a stone receptacle used to store and review memories, which witches and wizards are able to extract from their heads as a type of fluid. Harry first discovers this device in Goblet of Fire, and it is frequently used for flashback scenes throughout the remainder of the series. In the first chapter of Philosopher's Stone, Dumbledore is seen using the Deluminator, a device for removing and later returning light, and for use as a homing device. It is confirmed in Deathly Hallows when the object is inherited by Ron that the Deluminator is of Dumbledore's own design. Dumbledore is the possessor and master of the Elder Wand, an extremely powerful object known also as the Wand of Destiny, or the Deathstick, and one of the Deathly Hallows. Unlike many of the wand's previous owners, Dumbledore keeps its identity a closely guarded secret. He also has a pet phoenix named Fawkes. It is revealed in Philosopher's Stone by Mr. Ollivander that Harry's wand carries a phoenix feather as its magical core, and that particular phoenix only gave one other feather, the one in Voldemort's wand that gave Harry his scar. It is later revealed in Goblet of Fire that Fawkes was the phoenix whose feathers provide the magical core in Harry's and Voldemort's wands. Backstory. Through various interviews and discussions about the character, Rowling has established that Albus Dumbledore was born in July or August 1881 to Percival and Kendra Dumbledore. The character had previously referenced his brother Aberforth, and in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, it is revealed that Albus is 3 years older than Aberforth. The same book introduced their sister Ariana, who, at 6 years old, suffers a vicious attack by 3 male Muggle youths who had witnessed her doing magic. Frightened, they first try to get her to repeat what they had seen, and upon her failure to recreate it due to her young age, they try to stop her from being different. The severe trauma of the attack leaves Ariana unable to function socially or to properly perform magic again. It is not explicitly stated in the novel what form this attack took, but Percival is given a life sentence in Azkaban for tracking down and hexing the boys who traumatized his daughter, to prevent her being institutionalized in St. Mungo's Hospital, or hurting someone accidentally with her uncontrolled magic. Kendra moves the family to Godric's Hollow, and conceals Ariana's illness. Their visiting neighbors and acquaintances assumed that Ariana is a non-magical squib, and that Kendra is hiding her out of shame. When Dumbledore and his friend Elphias Doge leave Hogwarts at the age of 18, they plan to take their, then traditional, tour of the world. On the eve of their trip, however, Ariana accidentally kills Kendra during one of her uncontrolled outbursts of magic. Because Dumbledore's parents are absent, his father in Azkaban and his mother dead, he becomes the head of the family and it becomes his duty to put food on the table. As the family's misfortunes have left them poor, he is forced to remain in his house with Ariana while Aberforth completes his education. Aberforth knows of his brother's resentment and offers to care for Ariana himself, claiming that she prefers him to Albus. But Albus refuses, stating that it is his duty as the eldest child to care for the family. When Gellert Grindelwald arrives at Godric's Hollow, he and Dumbledore become immediate friends, and the two dream of a new world order in which wizards rule over muggles, for the greater good. Dumbledore and Grindelwald suggest that they have to leave the Dumbledore home to carry on their plans, but Aberforth protested against this, as Ariana's condition would not allow her to be moved. The ensuing argument between Albus, Aberforth and Grindelwald turns into a duel, and as Ariana becomes more and more stimulated, she is caught in the crossfire and killed, though neither Albus nor Aberforth are sure whether one of them or Grindelwald caused her death. Stricken with grief and remorse, Dumbledore breaks ties with Grindelwald for good. According to the author, as a result of this, Dumbledore's boggart becomes Ariana's corpse. In Philosopher's Stone, he also mentions to Harry that the deepest desire of his heart, revealed by the Mirror of Erised, is to have a pair of woolen socks. But in the seventh novel, Harry realizes that he and Dumbledore see the same thing in the mirror. Their reunited families,